Mudrock is a 6-star Juggernaut defender, and she is a really interesting character that I would like to talk about. So first of all, when I first got into Arknights, I saw the Mudrock, standard skin of her and her armor, and I was like, oh, this is clearly a dude, because what gacha game puts a woman in a massive suit of armor? So one day I was just scrolling, and I saw her E2 art on Twitter, and I was like, what in the goddamn is this? I've never seen this Arknight character in my life. And lo and behold, it was Mudrock. So since then I was interested in Mudrock. And then after playing Twilight of Wimbledon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but after playing that event, I began to appreciate Mudrock's character quite a lot. So that's what I'm going to do here, appreciate her character, and appreciate the operator that Mudrock is. Mudrock's got some pretty simple skills. Her first skill just gives her a defense up. Her second skill, which is the main skill she uses, is the spin. And her third skill lets Mudrock sleep for a little bit before giving the enemies the bonk. So obviously Mudrock is an extremely good unit in the game. Her shield and her skills give her a lot of versatility in dealing with all enemies from all levels of play. So it's obvious that anyone watching this will know that Mudrock is insanely good. But I want to talk about her character. So yeah, Mudrock's lore is actually quite interesting because of a few reasons. Obviously, Mudrock is a Sorkaz, which in of itself is pretty interesting. But Mudrock is also a former member of Reunion. And as they are the main enemies that you fight for the majority of the game right now, considering their story only ended in Chapter 8, Mudrock being a member of Reunion and then becoming a member of Rhodes Island is quite interesting in and of itself. However, even before Reunion fell after being defeated by Rhodes Island, Mudrock had already left Reunion with her Mudrock squad. So it's clear that her and Reunion drifted apart rather naturally, which is fascinating. Mudrock is also very compassionate and not quick to violence, which is a very interesting thing considering she leads a mercenary squad called the Mudrock Squad. Mudrock's goal during the event is very similar to Rhodes Island. She wants to catch the murderer and punish them for killing the infected and members of her mercenary squad. We see during the event that she goes out of her way to leave flowers at the graves of her killed comrades. While doing this, she even has a run-in with Rhodes Island, which ends amicably as they do not choose to fight each other. Instead, they engage in a bit of a dialogue in which Mudrock explains that she means them no harm and simply wishes to see the murderer brought to justice. Mudrock, while talking with Greythroat, also realizes that it is inevitable that they are going to be dragged into the fighting, as no solution to the cause of the murders has been found, and tensions between the infected and non-infected keep rising. After doing battle with Rhodes Island, in the center of the town, Mudrock eventually comes into contact with Severin Hawthorne, the head of the town, and after a short conversation with him, agrees that after she kills him, that she will take all the infected and her squad and leave the town to allow it to remain at peace. When she makes this deal with Severin, she also proclaims that she will prevent anyone on her side of the fighting to harm another person, and promises to even deal with them herself. A promise that she will inevitably have to go through it at the end of the event. After being defeated, Mudrock agrees to leave Wollumde. However, the infected there refuse to back down from their fight as they see it as them still having a chance of victory, and so Mudrock burns away her own life force using the Sorkaz witchcraft she has to summon a giant golem, which, despite draining her own life and being pointed out by her allies, she doesn't care as she has already committed herself to ending the conflict. As such, in order to end it, she herself becomes a scapegoat of sorts, commanding all those who are still refusing to give up to face her in combat Which, of course, after you've just seen this woman summon a giant golem, you're not exactly going to be rushing at her to have a fight. And as such, Mudrock leaves. And after the events of Twilight, she comes into contact with the Rhodes Island elite operator, Logos, who invites her to join Rhodes Island. And as such, Mudrock and her squad are rehomed in Rhodes Island, where she becomes an operator to repay Rhodes Island for protecting her and her squad. So there's still a bit more of Mudrock's story left to tell. I would like for us to see a CG of her Sorka's witchcraft in action, but that'll have to wait. However, one thing that will not have to wait is how goated Mudrock is with the 2 skins she has gotten. They're both incredibly beautiful, and in the Phenomenal Agents PV, she gets to show off her bonking, which is pretty great, and that's about it. That's all I have to say, so you should go off and be good people.